Good morning. Well, things are different here at KBC Kids this week. We are so pleased that we can do more in our own space. Here we have more time for teaching, for stories, for songs and for silliness with Eilidh, Ross and Corrin. During October, we are going to be looking at the story of Joseph. You might already know or remember who he is. He's a guy with all the brothers, the dreams and the special coat, sometimes called a multicoloured coat. His story is told in the book of Genesis, the first book in the Bible, and it tells the story of God's people from the very beginning when he created the earth. Today we're going to watch the beginning of Joseph's story, the part with the coat and his horrible brothers.
The Faithful Hall of Fame, Joseph. So this is Joseph. Hey! You see, Joseph was the son of Israel and Rachel. Israel loved Joseph more than all 12 of his sons. In fact, he made Joseph a coat to show him how much he loved him. When Joseph's brothers saw this, they hated Joseph. One night, Joseph had a dream. When he awoke, Joseph told the dream to his brothers. He said, "Listen to this dream I had. We were gathering grain when suddenly my bundle of grain rose up and all of you bowed to me." This made his brothers hate Joseph even more. And they said, "You're gonna rule over us?" Then Joseph had another dream. And he told it to his brothers and his father. He said, "Listen, I had another dream. And this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." This time Israel heard the dream and rebuked Joseph, saying, "Will your mother and brothers and I actually come and bow down before you?" The brothers were even more angry when they heard the second dream. Israel, however, decided to think about what Joseph was saying. One day, Joseph's brothers were working when they saw Joseph coming to meet them. One of his brothers mocked him and said, "Here comes the dreamer. Come on now, let's kill him and throw him away to be devoured by a ferocious animal. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams." One of the brothers named Reuben wanted to rescue Joseph, so he said, "Let us not take his life. Instead, throw him in the pit."
Yeah.
So when Joseph came to his brothers, they attacked him. They took the robe their father had given Joseph. They hoisted Joseph up and threw him into the well. Then they saw a group of men from Midian coming towards them. Judah thought it would be a good idea to sell Joseph to these men. So the brothers sold Joseph to the merchants for 20 shekels. The brothers then took the coat of many colors back to their father and made him believe that Joseph had been killed. Israel wept for his son whom he loved. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken as a slave to Egypt to work in the house of a man named Potiphar, for Joseph's story was only just beginning.
Okay, quiz time. How well were you paying attention to the story? Let's find out with a true or false quiz. First question. Joseph dreamed that he would rule over his brothers. What do you think? True or false? It is true. Second question. Joseph's brothers were jealous of him. True or false? Say quickly. It was true. They were very jealous of him. Question number 3. Jacob treated all his sons the same. Did he? No, that question is False. He did not treat all his sons the same. Question number 4. All of Joseph's brothers wanted to kill him. There were a lot of brothers. Did they all want to kill him? That is false. And the last and final question, question number 5. Joseph was sold as a slave. True or false? It was true. How many did you score out of 5? Well, why is this story important then? Joseph was living a life of obedience. He was doing the right thing. He was following the rules and following God. Even as a young boy, he wasn't perfect. We can see that because of the way he spoke to and boasted in front of his brothers, where he told of his dreams of ruling over them. But he definitely didn't deserve to be thrown in a pit and then sold as a slave by his own family members. Can you imagine how he must have felt when his brothers ripped off his colourful robe? This robe represented the special bond he had with his dad, and his brothers, because they were jealous, they destroyed it. Can you think how it must feel to be mistreated when you had done nothing wrong? What if you get the blame for something that wasn't your fault? In those moments, it's easy to ask, "Where are you, God? Don't you see me?" Joseph could have asked these same questions. Maybe he did. Mistreated and abused by his brothers and eventually sold into slavery by them, Joseph could easily have chosen to believe that this was all showing that God didn't love him or wasn't on his side. We can feel like that too, like God must not care about me. If he did, these things wouldn't be happening to me. One thing we can learn from Joseph's life is that God never leaves us. He is there and he is working on our behalf. Joseph must have wondered what God was up to as he was being led off into Egypt as a slave. But he never stopped trusting and he never stopped doing what God wanted him to do. We will see God working in Joseph's life as we look at his story over the next few weeks. Even though Joseph's brothers thought, "That's the end of that dreamer," they were wrong. God had an amazing dream for Joseph's life. And even when it looked like everything had gone wrong, God would use it all to help make the dream come true. God would use everything that was happening to Joseph to do something good.
How far I can jump.
Challenge accepted. Watch this.
Call that a jump.
Wait, what?
We need to beat her next time.
Just a bit.
Just at the end of John's Gospel we read, these things are written that we may believe. All of his written that we may believe in Jesus, Messiah, the Son of God. And that by believing have life in His name, and that by believing have life in His name. Just at the end of John's Gospel we read, these things are written that we may believe. All of the stories and wonders we read, these things are written that we may believe in Jesus.